Hello everyone, welcome to my lecture series of electromagnetic fields. We will discuss different theories, phenomena and numerical solution of different cases in this series. I hope this series will give a fruitful outcome to physics scholars or engineering students. We have discussed the potential and the electric field due to electric dipole. From now onwards, we are going to discuss about electrodynamics. So, for the very fundamental topics, we are first going to understand the concept of current and current density. Then we will understand why current density is a very important concept as far as the study in electrodynamics is concerned. Then we will see the relationship between current and current density. We are going to understand two kinds of relationships over here, and then we will discuss the continuity equation. So let us start with the electrodynamics. So it is known that the flow of charges constitute an electric current. So for an example, if I have a conductor like this, then some amount of, I can imagine a cross section area. So this is, I am imagining, is a cross section area. Suppose the radius of my conductor, say it is curly r, then the magnitude of this cross section area will be pi r square, and the amount of free electrons that moves from one side to another side under the effect of some potential difference across its two terminals, then these number of electrons that moves across this cross section area constitute a current. So if I want to determine the how much current is being flown in this conductor, then what can I do? So simply current is equals to number of charge per time. So we can write, say we have n number of electrons that have been passed through this imaginary cross section area, then we can write n into electron, which is the 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb, divided by the time taken for such electrons to move from left hand side to right hand side. Fine. In another way, we can also define current as dq by dt, that is the differentiation of total charge passing through the conductor with respect to time. Fine. So we can say that unit of current must be coulomb per second, because the unit of charge is coulomb and unit of time is second. In SI unit, it is defined as ampere. So we can represent the current in any conductor or any medium by coulomb per second or in amperes. Fine. So the flow of charge per unit time, that is the rate of flow of charge at a specified point or across a specified surface. Here we have understood the concept by taking a specified surface, is called an electric current. Now the Ohm's law relates the applied voltage, an electric current and a resistance of a material. We know what is the mathematical form of Ohm's law. It is V equals to IR. Fine. It is very general and very limited form of electrodynamic study. Fine. So but it relates the applied voltage, the current through the conductor and the resistance of the material with each other, and the relation is simple and straightforward for simple DC circuits only. What happens in electromagnetic engineering is the motion of charge in various media such as liquid, gas, dielectrics, etc. are different from each other, because whenever we are talking about motion of charge in a different medium like liquid and gas or in dielectric, at that time positive and negative both charges will move from one place to another, and both charges will have its own characteristic of moving from one point to another. So at that time this simple equation V is equals to IR is quite inadequate to analyze the system as a whole. and the basic Ohm's law is not sufficient to find the current through such medium, and hence for electromagnetic engineering, instead of current we are using the current density. Fine. We also uses the continuity equation. We will see in very short time that what is continuity equation. But for the study of electromagnetics or a very complex system where the medium is not solid, fine, your current is not passing through any metallic material, rather it is passing from any liquid or any gas or any dielectric material. At that time the definition of current itself will change. Fine, because whatever we see in a metallic conductor, now this current is called drift current. Why drift current? Because first of all it is only due to the free electrons, and these free electrons will travel by drifting. Fine, because it will collide with some positive ions, then again it will energize, again it will travel for some distance, again it will collide with some positive ions. Fine, so this motion of electron will be like drift, and hence this current is called drift current. But whenever a capacitor is there, say for example I have a parallel plate capacitor and I am giving it some supply like this, so this left hand side plate will be positively charged, right hand side plate will be negatively charged, and here I am having a slab of dielectric material. So when I will increase the voltage across the plates, what will happen? The free electrons, or say electrons inside this dielectric material, will attract towards positive plate, and same way positively charged nucleus will attract towards negative plate. Fine, so this current, this momentary current that developed inside the dielectric material is called the displacement current. Fine. So if we want to find the value of this displacement current, at that time Ohm's law will be of no use in this case. Fine, we must have another kind of concepts that can help to find the displacement current, or it is also called as conventional current. It is also called as convection current. But to determine such kind of current in different materials and different medias, the most important or most useful form is current density rather to use current. Fine. So for that reason we need to learn the current density and the relationship between current and current density. So now the current density is defined as the current passing through the unit surface area when the surface is normal to the direction of current. So this is how we can define the current density. Fine. It is actually a vector quantity. Current density, it is denoted by capital J bar, and it is actually a vector quantity. Why vector quantity? Because in the determination of density itself we are considering the surface area, and being the surface area being vector quantity, the current density also is a vector quantity. And the unit of J bar or current density is ampere per meter square, because it is nothing but the current passing through the unit surface area. Fine. Now if you want to understand the concept and this statement, that is the surface is normal to the direction of current. So we are considering two cases. So as you can see, I have taken an Cartesian coordinate system, right-handed, fine, and I have some area, let's say S, and the direction of current is towards positive Z, fine. So current over here is moving from negative Z to positive Z. So if we imagine a small differential area ds, fine, this is our current, then J bar over here will be equals to I divided by integration of ds. Now if the current is uniform, then we can write I divided by S, fine. And what will be the direction of J bar? So it will be the same as the direction of current. So here J bar will be AZ bar. So this is how we can determine the current density. But say if it is not the case and we have another kind of situation in which the same surface is there, but this time the current is not in the upward direction, rather it is at some angle theta with z axis, fine. So what will happen at this time? If we consider a small differential surface over here, then the direction of surface is AZ bar, this is our direction of current, and this is the angle theta between the direction of surface and direction of current, fine. So at that time what will happen? We can write I equals to integration J bar dot ds bar, fine. Here dot product is necessary to take because we need to take the normal component of the surface in the direction of current. So if we want to have the normal component in any direction, then we must take a dot product, okay. And in another logic is also there, that current is a scalar quantity, so for that purpose also we must take the dot product over here. So this I is equals to closed surface integration of J bar dot ds bar becomes the most useful equation, and this is the relationship between current and current density. See, this is the very regular case, fine, and it has every uniformity and symmetricity. That is why we can write J bar is equals to I by S, fine. But this is very general representation of current and current density, where there may be some non-uniformity, non-regularity and non-symmetricity. So at that time, in a general representation, we can write I, that is current through any medium, rather it be liquid or gas or dielectric, anything, must be equal to the closed surface integration of current density and dot product with the differential surface, okay. So now if you have observed that in electrostatics and electrodynamics, in electrostatics we had a relationship psi is equals to closed surface integration of d bar dot ds bar. This is nothing but Gauss's law, if you remember this. The same analogy we have seen in the very first concept of electrodynamics, that is current I is equals to closed surface integration of J bar, that is current density in this case, dot ds bar, fine. So this is how we can relate the study of electrostatic and electrodynamics. And this is the beauty of mathematics, that we got the fundamental behavior or fundamental characteristic of each and every quantity in a same manner. So now there is another perception by which we can also understand the current density. So we can imagine that say if we have the same system, so I have taken a right-handed Cartesian coordinate system, and now imagine that for any liquid medium or gaseous medium, there are flow of some charges through any imaginary cross-section area. So I am imaging a cross-section area of this shape in any liquid or gaseous medium, and charges are being passing through this area and constitute a current. Now if I imagine these free charges, this may be free electrons or this may be positive ions, fine, but if I imagine these charges as a cloud of charge, so I am imagining these charges as a cloud of charge, then this cloud will have span some volume in the space, and the movement of this cloud can be referred as the current passing through this surface, fine. So this fundamental concept is being used to derive another relationship between J bar and rho v, that is current density and volume charge density. Okay, so this is the fundamental logic. In liquid or gaseous medium, whatever charges are traveling from one side to another side through any imaginary cross section area, we can imagine those charges as a cloud of charges, and this cloud is passing through some velocity, and we can have the relationship between J bar and rho v, fine. So here in a particular manner I am describing that for at t is equals to 0 time, let's say at t is equals to 0 time, for simplicity I have taken the shape of volume as parallelopiped or cube, fine. I have some charges, let's say delta q, which is nothing but rho v into delta v, fine. Here this v stands for volume, or say for volume if we take the convention as tau, so we'll use tau to represent the volume. Okay, so now as the current will pass, what will happen, this volume will travel, here we are imagining that the current is passing in positive x direction. Okay, so we are imagining that the current is passing in positive x direction. So what will happen, this cube will start moving in positive x direction, and after some time it will be somewhere over here. Fine. So this is the distance that this volume has been traveled, fine, in some particular time. Let's say this distance is delta x. Let's say the length of this volume is delta L, and the time taken to travel this distance is delta t, fine. So what will happen, first we need to write some notations for our reference, that our, in this case, delta x is the distance traveled by the volume of charge, then delta L is a differential length of the volume, delta S is the differential surface area of the volume, delta tau is differential volume itself, which can be treated as delta S into delta L. Fine, because if this is the shape of our volume in which this is delta L, this surface area is delta S, then delta tau is nothing but delta S into delta L. Okay, and delta T is the time taken by the volume to travel delta X, and rho V is nothing but the volume charge density. So if we want to find the total charge inside this volume, what can we do? We can have Q is equals to rho V into delta tau, which is equals to rho V into delta S into delta L. Fine. So this is how we can find the total charge. Now, the velocity can be defined as delta V, or simply say Vx. Velocity is Vx. Why x? Because here we have imagined that volume is traveling in positive x direction. That is why we can write Vx equals to delta x divided by delta t. So this is called as velocity in the direction of x. Now, after understanding these terms, that each of them have their own meaning and significance, we can write the current, we can write the current as delta I equals to delta Q by delta T. Now delta Q is nothing but rho V delta S delta X by delta T. So we can have rho V delta S Vx, and then this is the value of our current. And if we want to have the density, then in place of delta I we can write delta J into delta S, which is equals to rho V into delta S Vx. So delta S will get cancelled out from each other, and finally you will have delta S is equals to rho V into Vx. Fine. And in general form, not delta S, it will be delta J. And in general form, we can represent this equation as J bar equals to rho V into V bar. So this is the relationship between current density and volume charge density. Okay. Now we can say that this current is also called as displacement current. Fine. This current is called displacement current. So this equation is very useful in the analysis of capacitance. And we can say that current density is directly proportional to the volume charge density of a medium and the velocity of moving the charge. Fine. So this is another kind of relationship that will be useful in further study and future lecture of this series. Now the second topic of today's video is continuity equation. It is a very important and useful equation because by using this equation only we can derive the equation of capacitance of any random configuration. Fine. So it is very important. Let us start. How does it make sense? So the continuity equation of the current is based on the principle of conservation of charge. So very first thing that is to be remembered is the continuity equation is based on the principle of conservation of charge. Now what is the principle of conservation of charge? It states that charge can neither be created nor be destroyed. So charge can neither be created nor be destroyed. So this is the very first thing to understand, that continuity equation is based on the principle of conservation of charge. Now we have the relation I is equals to closed surface integration of J bar dot ds bar. Now again consider the figure that we have already seen in the starting of this video. If some current is passing through this surface in any particular direction, then we can imagine that current flow outwards from this closed surface, then some charge will decrease. Fine. So what I mean to say is, if the principle of conservation of charge is true, then there must be decrease of an amount of charge inside the closed surface. Fine. Imagine this current as a outward current. Fine. Then we can imagine that some charge will decrease from this surface to constitute this outward current. Fine. So this term can be written as negative of dqi by dt. Fine. If I current is passing through this surface, then this current can be imagined as the decrement of charge constituted by this closed surface. Fine. So this decrement is denoted by dqi by dt. Here qi is charge enclosed by this closed surface, and negative sign indicates the decrement in this charge. Fine. So this is our first relationship. I is equals to closed surface integration of J bar dot ds bar, which can be imagined as the decrement of charge enclosed by this closed surface. Fine. And this form of relation is called the integral form of continuity equation. But we can have further derivation of this equation. So the very fundamental equation or fundamental continuity equation that we have got is I equals to closed surface integration of J bar dot ds bar equals to negative of, that is decrement, dqi by dt. Fine. We have the divergence theorem. We have already derived that theorem in previous videos. So divergence theorem is basically used to convert the surface integration into volume integration. So we have closed surface integration of any vector a bar dot ds bar, we can write the same thing as the volume integration of divergence of A bar dV. Fine. So this is the general form of divergence theorem, and we can use this form on any particular vector field. So here J bar or current density, the left hand side of this equation have the same appearance, so we can apply the same divergence theorem on this equation also. So after applying the divergence theorem, we can write volume integration of divergence of J bar dV equals to minus dqi by dt. Now qi, or say charge enclosed by the surface. See, here the surface was no doubt two-dimensional, but its third dimension is also defined. Fine. Rather, its width is very less, but it cannot be 0. Fine. So we are considering this width, and considering this width, there is a volume defined in terms of space, and qi can now be written as volume integration of rho v into dV. Fine. So writing the value of qi, we have negative d by dt of volume integration rho v dV. Now the left hand side will be as it is, divergence of J bar dV. In right hand side we can write minus volume integration of, now we have taken this integration operation outside the bracket and this differentiation inside the bracket. So differentiation going inside will become the partial derivative of del rho v by del t into dV. Now comparing right hand side and left hand side, both are having volume integration sign and with respect to dV. Fine. So we can write, we have achieved the equation like volume integration of divergence of J bar dV equals to minus volume integration of del rho v by del t dV. Fine. So we can write divergence of J bar equals to negative of del rho v by del t, and this is nothing but the point form of continuity equation, and it is very important as far as the study of electrodynamics is concerned. Right. This is the point form of continuity equation. Now we can also say that is the differential form, because in right hand side we are having the partial derivative. Fine. So point form can also be referred, same time differential form can also be referred for this kind of equation. Okay. Now the equation states that the current or the charge per second diverging from a small surface per unit volume is equal to the decrement of time rate of its volume charge density. Fine. So one can imagine the same. See, the concept of imagination is very similar, just the mathematical representation is getting changed. According to our need, we are going to use different equations to derive and to simplify the complex concepts of electromagnetism. Okay. And one last thing, if we have a conductor in which the steady current is being passed, at that time what will happen, the del rho v by del t will become 0. Fine. So if del rho v by del t is 0, at that time the divergence of current density will also be the 0. Okay, so for steady currents, the divergence of current density is 0, because for steady currents we do not get any non-zero value of the time rate of changing the volume charge density.